Hi guys, this is Mike. In this video, I'm going to show you how to import a photo into Cinema 4D. Now, if you go to Shift-V on your keyboard, you're going to bring up your viewport settings, and we're going to go to any of the views, orthographic views. So if you go to F2 for your top, F3 for right, or F4 for front, we're going to go to our front view, and we're going to be able to add in an image in the back. So if you go to the back tab, click on that, and then go down to image, and you have this little ellipsis here, this button, click on that and navigate to where you want to add in your photo. So grab your file, in this case we're going to use 2.jpg, and we're going to load this into this view. Now if you go to any of your other views, you'll have to add in an image for that view. So if you're, in this case, we're going to have our front view. If you have an image for your right or top, you can add that in as well. We're going to use this front view as an example. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And we have some options in which to choose in order to either offset our image. We can go in the X or the Y. We can rotate, and we can also drop down its transparency. Or I should say, increase its transparency. Now make sure you don't undo if you make any of these changes, because that won't work. What you'll have to do is you'll have to go back to each setting and click in 0, type in 0. And then we can also add our transparency, and that's good if it's a little bit too bright. You just want to work on it without it hurting your eyes. So that's how you upload an image to each of the orthographic views. But what about our perspective view? Well, there's an option for that as well. If you go to your primitives and choose a plane, and we're going to go in the same direction. We're going to go for front. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the orientation to +Z. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make a material. Double click in the materials manager, or you can just go to create and new material. That's fine. And then double click on the material. If you're in the color channel, go to texture, go to load image, and we're going to go to the same image, 2.jpg. And you can choose whether you want to add this into that location or not. I'm going to choose no. So next, what we can do is I'm going to move this material editor over to the side, and I'm going to grab the material and place it directly on the plane. Now you're going to notice it's upside down. That's okay. What we can do is we just can rotate this, hold down Shift. We get 10-degree increments until we get to 180 degrees. Now you're going to notice if you zoom in, it's not quite in the right, it's like stretched out. So you're going to need to know the exact dimensions of your photo that you're bringing in. So in my case, I'm going to go to Photoshop, and I'm going to go to image size, and I'm going to see here has dimensions 515 pixels by 720. So let's go back to Cinema 4D, and we're going to go to our plane, select that, and we're going to go to 515 by 720. And let's move this editor over again, and let's zoom out, and you can see now we have this in the correct view. So at this point, now you have it in two different places, whatever you're more comfortable with in modeling this particular, whatever object are you choosing. So you can just go to your cube for an example, and then we're going to push this plane back a bit. So I'm going to go to E on my keyboard and then just pull this back. And then we can start modeling, say box modeling this character. Now we have this at garage shading, but what if we just want to have this cube at its lines? So if we just go to our display and we go to lines, you can see everything just disappears. So I'm going to go back to garage shading, But what I can do, there's an option for this as well. If I right click on the cube and I go to Cinema 4D tags, display tags, and I can close this editor now. And if I have the tag selected, you can click on this checkbox and you can choose whatever display that you want for this particular object. So we can choose lines. So now if I go back to my cube and go to object and start adjusting and adding in segments, you can see I can see through the frame of this particular object, this cube, and still be able to work on and adjust. So for an example, I could go to like an FFD and drag this underneath our object, and then we can start making adjustments to this particular object. If I just go to, say, any of my tools, I can start adjusting, but I'll still be able to see through our object to see through to the reference.